So the South African restaurant industry report that 2023 saw South African restaurants receiving 3.5 million reservations with 17.8 million diners seated at eateries across the country. That's a lot of eating. This despite economic pressures on households' disposable income, and data also showing that 67% reduction in discretionary spending. But Wendy Alberts is the Chief Executive Officer at the Restaurant Association of South Africa. She joins us now. Wendy, a good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us here on the agenda.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting us.
It seems that you might be in some load shedding there, so thanks for making time, which is actually a really good place to start, right? How much of the numbers that you were seeing in the increase of diners going to restaurants actually is as a result of load shedding?
Look, load shedding has definitely been favorable for our industry, but it comes with its own challenges. So load shedding, whilst it's beneficial, the operational cost to keep our restaurants open kill the profitability, which kills the opportunity for us to be stable, to keep many more doors open. And remember, when we talk about generators, a big conversation that we have to have, because not all restaurant sites lend themselves to being able to have a generator. And generators are also determined by the type of load that they can put onto it, the type of restaurant that can run off it, whether it's a shopping centre generator, whether it's an independent generator, the size and capacity, and then also what safety measures and standards it can withhold. So remember, when we use our generator, certain parts of equipment can't certainly be used on it, like extractors. We sometimes go into safety lights in the kitchen. Our lighting isn't always good. So we compromise certain standards. So the cost for us to be operationally up to standard eats into our profit, which makes it very difficult. But it's challenging times. You know, we came from COVID and now through to the rolling blackouts. It has been very, very difficult for the industry.
Yeah, I see that. I think it's my eyesight. You're not in load shedding. That's just me and my eyesight. But of course, let's talk about just the supply chain issues that that restaurants may be having at the moment. I mean, obviously, food being the core for restaurants. What do we know about the challenges that you may have in moving food around among multiple restaurants in the country? There is, of course, the discussion of, okay, what is the real impact of even the conflict in the Ukraine? Is that something that restaurants are not quite concerned about?
There's so many challenges, since COVID that we have encountered, and our restaurant business has really become quite resilient, and it needs to be quite dynamic and pivot constantly. So, we have obviously the load shedding issues, which is operational standard. There's a cost of that type of businesses, and a lot of restaurants are closed because they simply don't have the opportunity to put a generator on their site. The second element is obviously the high interest rates. The economy is suppressed at the moment. It's difficult, low disposable income. People just don't have the money to be able to eat out. And then we obviously look at the availability of certain food products within the market, shortages. Obviously, the load shedding also impacts the transportation of getting the food to us. We talk about accessibility. We talk about the condition of the roads, the potholes of the roads, and we also talk about the connectivity with the cell phone companies. So these all play a massive impact on our businesses and for the ability for us to stay open. Safety measures through load shedding, people looking for much more affordable opportunities to eat out, looking at ways that we can mobilize our menus to be able to make it affordable for families to be able to come into a safe environment, to use the fibre, to use the Wi-Fi for families to be able to get their work done, kids to be able to get their schoolwork done. So we can see as load shedding has moved, we see a massive shift of more diners eating in our restaurants because they simply need it to survive. When we compare food costs within restaurants or menu costs compared to the convenience costs within supermarkets, it makes it far more food affordable for people to eat in our restaurants than what it is for them to go and buy convenience foods.
Right. And just lastly, before I let you go, where do we rate the quality assurance of food in our restaurants in the country, Wendy?
We can certainly see from various reports that our restaurant industry is certainly world class. We've got some really, really top amazing restaurants, some of them winning international accolades, a number of other restaurants winning various other accolades, and that the general consensus of the South African public is that the industry is so loved and that it is a reliable industry, that it's dynamic, that we are sensitive, and we have certainly looked at ways to bring value to families to be able to continue to eat out in our establishments. And I can only hope as we travel and we journey through these very complex, difficult circumstances that are really having massive impacts on the country itself, that we can be a safe space for people to come and enjoy meals with us and enjoy time in our spaces which we regard as home away from home.
Yeah.